Hey, we're back. Today we have Now, is it Marino,
Marino.
like for football? Like Amy
Marino.
Marino?
Yes. I
Good.
got it. I couldn't see what your hand was doing. I was like, what are you? Oh yeah,
Football.
I caught it. I got it.
We are live today with Amy Marino, who was on Play to Win season 2 with me, and was actually one of my favorite people on the show with Marilyn, because we just shared so much commonality in our background and what we're passionate about now. So I'm so happy to have you with me today and to really kind of dig into who you are and what's happened in your life since the show, and then the crazy audition about Give Me All the Babies. So we're going to talk about all that and more today. Why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself to my platform, to the crowd of people that are going to be watching. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been married, how many kids you got, etc.
Okay. My name's Amy Marino. I recently moved to Reno, Nevada, and I've been married for 18 years. I think that's
Good
18
job.
years. And I have three little girls, two of whom we've adopted. So I'm a former foster mom and an adoptive mom. Fostered lots of little ones. Yeah, actually been thinking about re-upping my license here. It's a little, yeah, it's got me thinking.
So you were in California, right? And then you just moved across to Reno?
Nope, we spent 10 years in Alaska, and then my husband's work moved us to Washington, right outside Portland. And then we just moved to Reno last month.
Okay. So I take it the foster and adopting is where the Give Me All the Babies came from?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
If you guys haven't had a chance, they've started releasing bits and pieces of the auditions that we had to do to get onto the reality show. And it's so funny because they just clipped this one section with, I love babies, just give me all the babies.
Give me all the babies. Just give me all the babies. All the babies.
I was like, what the heck is that about? So now what does your husband do again?
My husband used to work in oil and gas in Alaska on the North Slope, management, engineering type stuff. And so now he does a lot of gold mine. He services a lot of engineering, but he works with the mines.
Okay, cool. And then how we connected on the show was you're in ministry. You do a lot of stuff to help with sex trafficking. Talk to me a little bit about that. What's that about for you? What are you doing? What organization are you working with? I've got friends on my page that are all involved in this in one way or another. So it'd be great for them to hear from you and what organization you're working with.
Well, I've done a lot of different things because in Alaska we had an organization called Priceless, and it worked with things happening in Alaska. Then we moved, and so a lot of the work, that's where I was introduced to Joy International, was through Priceless in Alaska. Joy is ran by Jeff Brodsky. He's an amazing guy. His story is amazing. You should go read he has a book out too, but basically he walks barefoot for his cause. And when people ask him, like, why are you barefoot? He uses that as a way to introduce people to trafficking, which now I feel like a lot of people know about it. Like, it's really getting a lot of press. So what used to be kind of like hidden on the side, like, I mean, I think I first learned about it probably around 10 years ago when Nefarious came out. There was a movie that came out. And so then we started hosting. It was kind of like a movie night where we would invite all of our friends to come watch this movie and then just kind of get behind like different things, organizations locally that were like actually like helping people. And then I met Joy International, who does more like global. He does stuff everywhere. And then I do stuff with AIM, which does stuff with Joy and which does stuff with the Underground Railroad. So I feel like a lot of them are now starting to partner together. So I feel like those are the three, and A21 is another one, Christine Kane.
Yeah. So I work with free and A21.
Okay, cool. But I love A21 because we use a lot of their curriculum. You can go on their site and you can actually, there's stuff for high school students. Because I feel like I'm like the advocate or the one that wants to raise awareness. So, because it looks so different in so many different ways. And right now, I feel like with all of our kids like on the computer doing school, wow, like we really need to teach them how to be safe online, because so that like the things that are happening online, whether it's like someone asking you to take a nude photo, like just as not you, but like just like a student to student, and then not
Right.
really realizing like the ramifications of what can happen with that. And not that it's ever going to go to trafficking, but those are just the conversations that I feel like parents may not be aware of in
Yeah.
this day and age, because we didn't have the internet then, or most of us. I didn't have the internet until I went to college, and so it's kind of like we're parenting a whole different generation and really trying to protect our kids so that they aren't taken advantage of, or strangers aren't trying to talk to them on the internet and they think it's someone they know and it's really someone else just using their profile picture and trying
Yep.
to exploit them. So
Yep. So, um, I don't know if you saw it, but I think it was 30 or 28 kids in Georgia
yeah.
that were being trafficked and were rescued out of the back of a trailer. I mean, no attention at all, wasn't discussed. And, you know, um, people get upset when I talk about it, but it's 278,000 American children at risk for,
Right.
for potentially being either sexually exploited or trafficked. It's
Right.
it's a huge problem. It's not something that happens over there. It actually
It's
happens here, you know,
right in our own backyard.
in our own
Yes.
backyard. And I,
One of my friends just yesterday posted, and she was like, I'm really embarrassed. Like, she went live, like, she was so upset, but her kid was just playing a video game, and someone was pretending to be a like a young kid and was
yep,
asking, and the kid gave them their phone number and was like asking for inappropriate. I mean, it's just so easy how it can come in. I just don't really that I guess that's why I'm really big on awareness, because we don't really think about all these different things.
yeah, I never enabled the messengers on any of my kids' games for that very reason. I mean, they're older now, so it's a little bit different. But when they were younger, I wouldn't enable any of that stuff because predators, have been doing that kind of craziness.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So let's transition a little bit. If you guys want, there's tons of great organizations, and I'll actually go back and I'll post those links
Oh
to
yeah, cool.
Underground Railroad, AIM, A21 Free International. Pick one that fits you. There's tons of great organizations that are doing great things. Um, you know, and knowing really is half the battle to steal from GI Joe. If
Right.
any of you guys are old enough to remember that. Shoot, you're probably not, but I am. So, talk to me about, you're doing ministry, you're a foster mom, adoptive mom. You work with your husband who is in a very you know, um, uh, what do they call it?
Well, like just
Where
moving. Like,
yeah,
yeah. I can't remember the word of
transient,
it either, but yeah.
transient.
Yeah,
Transient.
there we go.
That's the word. I've been punched in the head, so y'all have to forgive me quite often, actually. Um, so, talk to me about how you guys went from that to you being so successful in network marketing. What started that up for you? Where did that all develop from, and how did it work out?
Let's see, that takes me back. So I think like I was in a phase of after the last adoption went through, because it was just a very stressful, gosh, 4 years or so. I think we did foster care. And so after that last adoption went through, I was just like, I need to take a break and work on family. And I was like, well, I'm already like a mom, but I wanted to be so much more than a mom. I don't know if anyone out there can relate, but it's just like I have a degree, I want to do something, and I love being a mom, but there was a part of me that I felt was dying because I wasn't being activated. And so I always said I would never do network marketing because I was doing full-time ministry, and I never wanted people to think that I was only asking them for something, or the only reason I was talking to them was because I had an ulterior motive. So
Mhm.
I actually I would buy from them, but I said I would never be one. And then I just remember some product came along and I was like thinking, oh, well, I would actually use that. And that's a really ingenious thing. And so then I was just like, I told my husband, I go, I think I'm going to do this. I never really, I'll just do this. And so then it's just like, wow, I just had really amazing success. But then I was like the store. I hated being the store. And so I get to the point where they couldn't keep stuff in stock. It kept going out of stock. I was having to buy all this stuff and then reselling it. And I was like, pretty soon I was just like, I'm done with this. Um, Even though I was what I thought I was making really great money. But like I was just like, oh. And then another friend was like, hey, you should really try this product. And I know you're already doing something else. And so then I fell in love with it. And I was like, I told my husband, I was like, I think I'm going to do this. And he's like, what? Like, basically, because I sell shampoo and skincare. And so he's like, you're going to spend this money on shampoo? Like, seriously, like, people are going to buy this? And so then it like really blew
Now,
up.
was
Like,
this before Walmart? Because if you walk down the aisle, there's a ton of shampoo for y'all. Like,
I know, right?
not for me.
This was
But,
not, this was only like I've only been doing network marketing for like 3.5 years.
okay.
So
Nice.
I no background of network marketing like before that. Like really didn't know anything. Just stayed out of that realm. So and it just kind of blew up, and he was just like, wow, this is okay. Like you go do your thing. And so, then I feel like network marketing afforded me to like I didn't really like being this stay-at-home mom. Like I mean I love my kids, but like I don't enjoy cleaning my house. I don't enjoy like cooking dinner, like all those things. Like I just want to play with them. I don't really want to do the like so I got to spend the money I was making to pay for the things I didn't want to do, which was like so it motivated me to like do more. Like, okay, so now I have a housekeeper, now I have a nanny, and now I need someone to like I need a chef or someone to cook for me. So it's like that was kind of like my motive at first, and I wanted my husband home more because
Right.
he was gone when we first like had kids in Alaska. He was working 2 weeks away, and he'd come home for 2 weeks, and then two
Right.
weeks away, and then home for 2 weeks.
Makes
So
it rough.
after a while, that's fine before you have kids, but like after kids, that's really difficult. And I just like
Yeah.
I just didn't see. I felt like if I wanted to see a change, I was gonna have to do something different. Like
Yeah.
our life was gonna have to be different if we were gonna have some kind of change. So I think I just got to the point, they say when you get so uncomfortable, you're willing to like get outside your comfort zone to see if there's something else out there. And so I felt like that was
So when
my
you made
story.
this leap, what did your friends and family think?
Uh they were really supportive. I was pretty surprised. Like I had never done anything like that. Like I used to travel and speak at like youth camps through like athlete camps, and like so I had like a really big following, I feel like, on Facebook, and I was doing ministry a lot. So I feel like maybe having a bigger platform like helped me
Sure.
build faster, because I felt like it went really fast, and then I was trying to figure out what I was doing as I was building. So that was always lovely.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, how long? How long have you known Ray and Jess, or at least known about Rank Makers, and how did you get connected with them?
I don't remember how I got introduced. I think I saw something of his, and then I think I was like probably one of the first that did Rank Makers, the $20 Rank Maker thing. And then he had a thing for people that I don't even remember, but they shut that one down. But that's how I kind of got to know him, was just watching the Ray Dailies, just learning, because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I would just like watch what he was doing and then try to put it into practice.
Sure.
And then
Sure.
he had a group for people that were pretty successful. And so I was in that. And so when I saw the first Play to Win, I was like, oh yeah, that looks good. And I said to myself, I should try that. And then I was just really busy with life and everything else. And so I just didn't submit the video. So when it came around the second time, like I knew I was supposed to do it. I knew in the back of my mind I was going to get on it. And so I just was like, okay. And I just had to make time to do the video. I don't know about you, but I was just like, okay, I have to do the video today. And yeah. So that's how I wanted to do it. Really, like it looked intriguing, and just I know that Ray knows what he's doing, and I was like, I wanted to be a part of that.
Sure. So 2 years rank makers, almost 3 years. What do you think the number one lesson you've learned from Ray's been?
Gosh, like, well, basically, like how to communicate with people when you're prospecting, like how to position yourself, like how to close, like, I mean, everything, basically everything. Cause like I said, I didn't know anything going into it. And so, yeah, there's other people that I listen to too, but I just appreciate Ray's like for the value. Yeah. He like every day he's giving me something. So, I mean, I really do appreciate that about Ray.
Yeah.
Ray and just both.
You know, you were on my day one, what I've taken to calling day one alpha. So we're all in the Red Roof Inn. We get in the van. It's this long 30, 45-minute ride. What's going through your head?
Well, like you, I don't know anybody because I had to fly from Destin to wherever we landed. Where
Fort
were we?
Lauderdale. Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale.
So I had to fly out of Florida to get back to Florida, and I didn't even get in until like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And then, up the next morning, and everybody knows each other, everyone's talking to each other. And I'm like trying to figure out like what the heck is happening here.
Right.
And then the bus ride over there, I'm like trying to like analyze people just by their conversation. I was just trying to be like, okay, like who are you? And okay, yeah. So I felt like a lot like you. I didn't know anybody there, and just trying to listen to their conversation to find out like more about them.
Yeah. So, they herd us all into this really gorgeous house, huge house. Yeah. At first, I thought we were at Ray and Jess's house. I didn't know. I was like, wow.
It was a really nice house.
And they line us up, from kind of shortest to tallest, and, then bring us into this room. And you're looking around that room. What were you thinking then?
I was like, oh my gosh. Because I think I was more intimidated by the cameras than the people. And I think that's when it really set in. Like, I'm going to be like everything's going to be recorded. So then, you flash back to all these memories of you watching something on TV about reality TV. And I was like, oh no, this may not have been a very good decision. Like, I was like, I was really questioning my sanity when I was like, God, did you really tell me I was supposed to do this? And
yeah, right.
So, why am I doing this?
Yeah. So as you looked around that room, the cameras are in your face. Who did you think was going to be the biggest threat to you winning the show?
Ryan. I was like Ryan, like, because when I was like hearing, like he had his own business, like he was doing multiple business, like just listening to him talk, I was like, okay, this guy is definitely probably like one of my big competitors right there. Once I walked in the house, because Megan and Kelly didn't ride the bus.
They came a little bit later.
Yeah. And so I'm like, they already know each other. They're on the same team. Like, okay, like unfair advantage. I was like, this is not fair. But yeah, those are probably like my three that I was like really, because I didn't really know you. You're kind of quiet. And it wasn't until I really got to talk to you.
Hold on, say that again, because nobody will believe you.
Yeah, you were. I think you were analyzing everybody, like what's
I
their
was.
weakness.
I was totally so I took a very different approach. So once I saw that people already had gotten to know each other and I was watching dynamics and feeling like people were already aligning with who they were going to team up with, if that was even a thing, like nobody
Right.
knew. I decided to take a very laid back approach and sit back and observe the dynamics of the room and the people and to make decisions from sitting in the back.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I was very quiet.
After I
Uh,
get to know you, I think, I mean, for you, you were like a grounding for me. And so like, I knew that you would go far. At first I didn't take you seriously because you were sleeping and you were really annoyed at the very beginning. And so I was just trying to like, what's really happening
what was
here?
I annoyed
But
about?
you were, I'll tell you afterwards,
Oh,
but
okay.
you were so
I,
annoyed at the very
oh,
beginning.
yeah,
And so I was just like, oh, okay. But then like once it really got stressful and I didn't realize like how my body was responding more to the stress than what I was actually feeling. I don't know how to it's
yeah,
kind of like it's hard to explain to someone that's not in that because it wasn't like it was scary. There was no part that was scary other than just the unknown of what was going to happen next. It wasn't
yeah,
really like scary, but for some reason like it was really really stressful. And so the stress started like my body started responding to the stress, but like you were kind of like a grounding for me so I don't think I would have made it as long if I didn't have that peace. Like you brought me some peace. So thank you.
So, what was your, so and I can tell you why the stress was happening. I mean, we were competing 2, 3 times a day. I mean, you didn't know what was going to happen from one minute
Yeah.
to the other. There was a lot of what I would call unscripted stuff that was actually
Yeah.
happening, even in the competition phases of the show, which was really amazing for me. But what do you think as you look back on the show was and don't give away any details, but what do you think your favorite moment on the show was?
Well, I love the breakthrough that Mama Jean had. That was pretty awesome to
That was
see
great.
and just see that that was pretty awesome. I don't think did I just give something away? I hope I
No,
didn't.
it was in the trailer. So,
Oh, okay, okay. And then just for me, like just I had tremendous breakthrough, and so I don't know if I would have had that had I not went on the show. Like it wasn't very comfortable at all. I don't think any of our breakthroughs are maybe like
yeah.
raw moments, but just kind of thinking through and looking back, like just that breakthrough I got. If I wouldn't have went on the show, maybe I wouldn't have never had that. And so I think I needed that breakthrough in order for me to fulfill the things that God has for me to walk through.
Yeah. All
And
right.
you
So,
have to watch the show to figure out what that breakthrough is. Because once I have the breakthrough, I'm kind of like, I'm just done because I can't process, I can't talk. I'm just like in this zone of like like, oh my gosh, I've lived my
yeah.
whole life.
Yeah, I would.
Didn't
I think I
understand
already.
that.
I think I already
Huh?
know, but the most nerve wracking experience was actually the breakthrough as well, though, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
no, well, I had the breakthrough before I had to actually do that. Yeah,
Okay.
but I couldn't do it once. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
you have to watch it because I'm trying not to give anything away here. So
Yeah. So, show is over. COVID happens. What do you think was the greatest lesson you learned from actually being on the show?
I can't say until after it airs because I don't know if it's going to make it on there. I
Okay.
will have to say that I actually because everyone says that they were intimidated by Jess. I really love Jess. Like I didn't go in there scared at all. Like that was my favorite part was pitching her my idea. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
I won the challenge. I almost wish I wouldn't have won the challenge because I got ate alive. But that was probably the best part. It kind of showed my gift set. I don't do very well under immense stress, but you give me certain things, and I wish that, like, most people won't know this, but my daughter was really sick, and she
Yeah.
was taken to the ER. So I didn't even get to do the last day with you guys, which that would have been, I think, the funnest day was that last thing. And so yeah, so like I feel like some of what I pitched, like I would have got to actually like play out with
Yeah.
you guys. So that was
So
really hard
yeah,
to see.
that was. What do you think? So we come out, the world pandemic, all the craziness that's happening. What do you think changed most for you after the show?
I think for me, because life is just really crazy. Like not only do I have 3 young kids, I'm homeschooling, and we're dealing with COVID. We just moved, like all these big, life changes. I think for me, like dealing with my stuff, like I didn't realize that, I've done trauma work, like almost all my life. Like the more trauma you go through, it's kind of like you're an onion, and more you get healing in certain areas, other things come up. And I feel like that show really like brought out a lot of things that I thought I was healed from, because there was things that I should have been able to do easily because I do them outside of that show all the time, but I couldn't do it in that high stress moment, if that makes sense. And so going back and like, why was that triggering, and be able to work on me. So I feel like that's the big thing, is like I've been intentional to work on me, because I kind of shut down after it, because just you can't really say, I feel like I can't really say anything like what I really want to say, because
That's okay.
yeah, well, you have to watch it. You just have to watch the show.
So we're in this private Facebook group where all the contestants get to hang out and, bounce ideas off each other, make fun of each other, watch the trailer together, whatever. And there's been a lot of nerves about the upcoming release of the show. How are you feeling?
I'm kind of nervous, but I think that's honestly, okay, this is the truth. Like I would do that all over again for if someone watching to have breakthrough, because I feel like a lot of times like we learn and grow by the things we watch. And like sometimes like the like you'll watch a movie and you're just like, wow, like, well, if they can overcome that, like so can I. And I feel like this reality show, and I don't know how they're gonna spin things, or I don't know, like that's where the nerves come in, is just like you just don't know. But I know Ray and Jess, and I know that they do top notch things. So if I really like on the inside know that no matter what's shown, like if someone can grow and take away something, then my pain, for them to see, because you're laying all of this very vulnerable stuff out. And it's one thing to do that in a counseling session. It's another thing
to do it on TV.
Yes, where everyone sees your inner turmoil, you're sharing personal things that like you may not just tell like some total stranger. You probably wouldn't do that. So it's like it's very vulnerable to be able to like share all these things, because all of us shared all of these deep things. I mean, and that's how I feel like we have such a strong connection to each other, is because we've heard each other's stories. And so I think it's worth the watch, because I'm excited to see how many people will have breakthrough in the areas that we were struggling in.
Yeah, so I've said this a number of times, and through doing the interviews, that it doesn't really matter who you are. I promise you, there's somebody on the show that you're going to connect to their story, because it will be so similar to yours. Whether that's your story or my story or Kyle's story or whoever. There's somebody's story that's gonna really kind of resonate with you. So trailer just got released last week. The end of last week, I think, is what it was. When you got a chance to watch it, What were you thinking? What was going through your head?
I was like, wow, this looks really good. I want to watch it. I was like, maybe I'm gonna watch that in a different way than before, because before I'd probably be like watching it like this, like, and now I'm just like, oh yeah, this actually looks really good.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've kind of shared in the group too. It's only going to be 5 or 6 episodes. We literally filmed
Like
uh,
all day for what,
15,
5 days, 4 days.
yeah, I mean, we were doing on average 10 to 12 hours a day. So there's 72 hours roughly of footage, somewhere in that
Yeah,
kind of category of, 60, 70 hours of footage. There's only so much they can show in 5.5, 6 hours. Um, maybe 7 hours if
right.
they do it like they did last year with the finale being a couple of episodes long. So like, you know, there's only I mean, of course, when you're doing 5, 10 second clips, you can get a lot in an hour. But at the end of the day, I think there's a story to be told. And I don't think anybody really has to be nervous because the story that's being told is what's going to direct the narrative, right?
You're
So,
right.
you know, um, so, as you were watching that trailer, things are getting released. You seem to be doing okay with it. How are you going to use this to catapult yourself into what's next for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, there's a lot of things that I felt like I'm kind of backlogged on just because the move and a lot of I wasn't anticipating homeschooling, thanks
Sure.
COVID, like all these different things, where I'm really, yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot of things I have on my heart right now that I want to do, but I feel like right now, like God's really like family first. So I'm like really just like these things are still in my heart. I don't know that I'm gonna have the time to do those. It depends on, I'm trying to interview for nannies and just different things so that I can have time to do the things that I need to do. But right now, I feel like honestly, like God's kind of been like, okay, your kids really need you right now because we did just move again. We've moved, this is our second time in what 3 years that we've moved, and so this is like I feel
Yeah.
like a season that God's kind of asking me to step in and like give my kids more than what I did maybe this time last year, where we didn't have all the things going on in our world. So I
Right.
don't know. That's probably not the answer you're looking for, but that's kind of what I mean. I do have things that I wanted to have accomplished before this thing released, but I don't know that I'm gonna be able to get it pulled off. So
COVID changed everything for everybody, and I don't have a predetermined answer I'm looking for. It's just
oh, okay.
like
I mean,
just
there
let
was
people
that
get to
I
know you
definitely
and
wish
see
that I
you.
would have had accomplished by then, but yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it
Cool.
is, I think.
All
I mean,
right.
I
Well,
would love to connect with people that are passionate about changing, whatever it is. Like, for me, it is sex trafficking from things that I went through, and I don't want anyone to have to experience that. But I mean, like helping people figure out what they're passionate about, because network marketing made it a way for me not just to be able to give my time to something, but give my money. And I feel like money is a resource in order to change the world, and we need
absolutely.
more of it. And so, most people don't even realize what network marketing is. It's like a foreign language. And until you go visit that country or experience that for yourself, you just have this idea of what it is. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're able to take people on a journey to see that network marketing isn't weird. The people in network marketing aren't weird just because they choose to own a business in a different way, and do things differently for residual income doesn't make them bad. Because, everyone will go out and support Target or, Starbucks, no matter what they believe in, but like a lot of people have a hard time supporting their friends or their family
Yep.
to buy something that they're already buying at a storefront anyway.
Yep.
So Yeah, I mean,
Speaking
there's a lot of
Marie's
things
language, she's always always talking about that with Amazon.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm just
yeah,
yeah, so if I can connect with other people that like really want to change the world and maybe they don't know how to do that, or maybe they have a story similar to mine, or they want to foster or adopt, or and I can connect them to someone that can happen. Like I feel like maybe that's my purpose, my greater purpose is just to get people thinking outside the box and using their resources to change the world and not just to set an account for retirement, because I don't really feel like we're ever called to retire. We're just repurposed and we get to use our time and our talents in a different way.
right, right. Well, thanks so much for taking time out of your weekend to come on today. And I look forward to reconnecting with you. Just hang on for a couple more seconds and while I end the live, and
Okay.
then we'll talk
Well,
soon.
thanks for having me. It was
Thanks
fun.
for coming.